let's open it up and talk about Malachi Lawrence a little bit from UCF. He's kind of one of the guys that were low on the PFF list, so we didn't quite run into him. But social media buzz, Jonah Toles pulled up in my DM, said, hey, you need to be watching him. I believe John Owning was vouching for him too. And that's kind of how this thing going to work too. Like if there's a name that's kind of popular in draft media at the time, then we'll talk about it. I'm sure next week somebody that performed at the combine that we had to watch, we're going to have to edit and talk about that dude a little bit. That's just the game that we, that we run into. But Brian, once again, one of these cats way down the board. Is a couple rounds better than the LT Overton, boy. I don't know what the hell going on, man. But I'm watching Malachi Lawrence from UCF, and I haven't showed you this. I've broken my edges down on my board. So I got edge / linebacker. And then I separated edge / defensive end.
Okay, do you see this guy as an outside linebacker? I'll ask that question first because then I'm going to give you an answer.
I think he'll be a standing linebacker dude. I think any of these dudes could be both. I think he'll be best at standing linebacker guy.
I talked to a guy in the NFL yesterday, a scout in the NFL that does Central Florida. He thinks he's an outside linebacker.
Yeah, okay, cool. Brian, the first thing that pops off the film, and man, Brian, I got to see, this is why I don't like super wordy reports. Because I'll be talking about somebody else like, oh yeah, he got a good motor. And that player may not be lazy, and that player may play with good effort and they don't loaf. But I feel like I have to reserve motor guy for people like this.
Who have motor, who have actual motor.
Malachi, and look, don't get like, for example, like Melo Height plays with a high level of effort. Malachi Lawrence's motor is stupid, Brian. He don't get tired.
He doesn't get tired.
You know how we watch some of these guys in my defensive end edge group? They'll work, like they may have good burst, but they'll get locked up on and they'll just stay blocked. I don't think I ever seen Malachi Lawrence stay blocked. You know what I'm saying? You may win the rep and he may not make the tackle, but what he's going to do is die fighting. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an important trait. Here's another trait that I think is super important and that I think is rare that makes him special that not a lot of players have, Brian. He has counters.
He does.
But I don't think he has a plan. Now, what I mean by that, right? If I'm watching Cassius Howell, right? Cassius Howell will be like, all right, I'm going to rush upfield. I'm going to plan to counter back inside. Malachi Lawrence feels the counter. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him thinking out there. And he probably ain't got time to think because he's going full speed, right? He's going 100 miles an hour. But it's like when he feels something, he naturally counters it. When he feels a hand, he naturally swipes at it. When he feels a hand in his back, he's naturally working back inside, Brian. You see what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of these pass rushers have this. Some guys are more physically gifted. I think David Bailey, like Melo Height, RM Thomas, I think they're more physically explosive than him. I think his explosion, because he is explosive. I think his explosion comes from I'm just not slowing down. In the fourth quarter, I'm just not slowing down. His counters come from feel, and I think that that's special. Pure reaction, right? Rushes at different tempos as well, Brian. I think that's fire. Like he'll fly off the ball, chop and slow something down, and burst back inside a little bit.
See, this is where I disagree with you because I think that's where a plan comes from.
You think that's a plan?
I think that's a plan.
I think it's all field. Go ahead.
I tell you what, you're right though. I think this guy's really a natural pass rusher.
Natural is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, he's really natural. I mean, coming off the ball, where we watch these guys and we watch guys get stuck. And you mentioned that. And I'm like, this guy throws more counter moves than any other guy I think I've seen in this draft so far. I mean, it is like, to me, he's searching. Like, first step.
And that's my point. Look, because there's no way. Look, there's no way at the line of scrimmage he's going to go, all right, outside, spin, rip.
No, he
feels it.
But you talk about the ability, too, to get up the field and then redirect.
You
know, there's a lot of these guys that get, I'm watching these guys like Lucas. From USC.
Anthony Lucas,
And I'm watching them and I'm seeing no moves. And I'm watching Joseph from Tennessee and I'm not seeing moves, and I'm just kind of like, This guy, and the first time I saw this guy was at the East-West practices.
Yeah.
And like, okay, the level of tackle play, not what you saw on film. Yeah. I mean, in the Big 12, he went up against better tackles. Mm-hmm. But you watch how he attacks people.
Impressive.
It is. Its first step is explosive. It's to the corner, your hands up, swatting the hands, working inside. Next time I'm going to take you outside. I think he has an idea of what he wants to do.
Sure.
But the feel, I think you're right about that. But man, to me, he's so disruptive.
Yeah.
And you could watch, like, I was watching the Kansas State game.
Yeah.
And the quarterback gets outside the pocket on fourth down and is running towards the side to try. And he comes all the way from the other side of the field and runs him down, knocking the ball. The quarterback's trying to make it, and knocks the ball out of the guy's hand.
Sure.
He's that kind of player, the effort. He's relentless in the way. He makes a lot of those splash plays behind the line of scrimmage.
And Brian, I don't know if he's like powerful.
He's not.
But his bull rush catch their ass by surprise.
The run game stuff could be a little bit of an issue for him. And I said this, I think that there's some things that you talk about the power. I don't know about all the strength.
Yeah.
But his ability to rush the passer, that's going to be his calling card until he figures out how to defend the run.
Yeah.
But man, he sure looks the part for the position. 6'4", 247. I mean, he's just so disruptive in the way he plays. I mean, it's explosive to get off and on the tackle in a hurry, but all the moves that he's using to win. And you'll see a lot of these top guys that don't have the pass rush moves that this guy has.
So, Brian, here's my issue, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I'm a little phony. Not even phony, right? But just part of my process, in case anybody's curious, I place you based on your film and where I'm comfortable drafting.
Yeah.
But I may have to check myself when I start seeing who your peers are in that round or whatever. So, Brian, this is what I had. I had him as an early 3.
Uh-huh.
But this is my problem. My third round guys are Derek Moore from Michigan and Josh Joseph from Tennessee.
I got him above both those guys.
He is above both those guys. But, Brian, when I read his report, he's closer to R. Mason Thomas and Melo Height than he is Derek Moore and Josh Joseph.
I had Young from Missouri ahead of him.
Okay.
I have him in the third round myself. The guy, I'll tell you why I'm phony. Parker and Falk. That's where I'm phony. When I need to get that situated, or I'm not going to get these edges right.
Yeah.
That's
why I separate them on my board. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, and it's a good plan.
Sure.
I mentioned Joseph, Tennessee. I mentioned Lucas, USC. Mentioned Moore from Michigan. I think he's better than all those guys in the third round. Yeah. But I don't think he's better than Young from Missouri. That's kind of where I drew the line. Yeah. But man, I got to stop being phony with Parker and Falk. That's where I got to stop being phony.
Yeah.
They're
in my bottom 2s, and I won't have them higher than any of the Bendy guys. That's basically where I'm at.
Yeah, that's see to me, because if you're starting to talk about guys that could rush the passer, Young and Lawrence can rush the passer right now. Parker had emergence at the Senior Bowl, which was encouraging. Yeah. What the hell happened during the year? The whole Clemson team was a mess that way. Yeah. Falk might be in play if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, Falk might be in play just because he might fit what they're doing. But I feel like I need to see, and I don't know. I don't know. What am I going to see at the combine? What am I going to see at the combine? Am I going to see a more bendy guy and Falk going around the bags? Am I going to see that? Does that translate into him making plays? No. That's my problem. That's what I'm looking forward to about going to the combine and talking to some of these scouts and general managers. Like, where is Parker? Where is Falk? Where are those guys on this list? But Lawrence to me is not one of these guys. If you're looking for an outside linebacker, I think you and my scout buddy are right about him being a stand-up outside linebacker. Very, very similar to Very similar to some guys. I mean, those guys that like play in Philadelphia. You know, that
Nolan Smith and those guys.
Yeah.
If he's going to be in the third for me, Brian, it's at the top of the third. It's going to be 1-3.
Do you have Young in the second from Missouri?
I got him in the third.
You got him in the third, but you got Lawrence ahead of you got Lawrence as like a 1-3-0 on your board.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's I think that's a very fair grade. That's 1-3-0 would be the top of the third round.
Top of the third. And if you take him late second, like I get it. Like if you're just not gonna because he's not gonna be there in the fourth. You know what I'm saying?
Can you power rank? I say power rank. Please. Can I say stack?
Okay.
Stack Height from Tech, R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma, and Lawrence.
That's my order.
That's your order.
That's my order. Height is my second guy in the second round.
Yeah.
Howell's my first. R. Mason Thomas is my third guy in the second round, and Lawrence would be the first in my third round.
So you got Height over Howell from Texas A&M.
So right now is Bailey in the first.
Yeah.
Second round, Howell, Height,
okay,
R. Mason Thomas.
You only have one first round grade then.
Just one.
Okay.
Because Ruben Bain is in my defensive end edge group.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. I see what you did there.
Yep.